like that lightning in a bottle
Yeah.
term. Like you get it or you don't. And I just received it. And the real kicker is, what are you going to do with those opportunities when you get them? And how do you pay it forward? I think that that's where we're at right now in life.
Yeah.
Especially what's going on in this world. I think it's so important to like use your opportunities to make it better than you found it.
Yeah.
And to help other people.
Yay! All right, we are here. Welcome to Royalties.
Thank you.
Today we are joined by Texas-born country singer, songwriter Mickey Guyton. Welcome to Royalties.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and have some tea.
Yes, we have even more than tea. So we have our tea selection. We also have some snacks over here.
The sandwiches are really like speaking to me right now.
Do you want to grab a little sandwich?
I would love a sandwich.
Here's our tray. Grab a little
Thank
sandwich,
you.
a macaroon, a cookie.
I'm gonna do it all, you know,
Yeah.
because it looks so beautiful.
No one's broken out the snacks yet, so we can really get it.
How does nobody eat the snacks? That's what this is all about.
That's what I've been waiting for someone so that I can
Oh, and a
also
cucumber
partake.
sandwich. I should have a cucumber sandwich.
High tea. We're having a little high tea. Thank
High
you.
tea?
High tea.
Look at us.
Look at us, just
the
two girls
sound
having
of that.
tea.
Just having tea in this orange room.
Before we even get into the whole combo, I wanted to know, Mickey, if your sound was a tea blend, what do you think it would be?
Oh man, if my sound were a tea blend, I would call myself a flower garden tea. Why? I don't know. Maybe because there's so many beautiful flowers and there's so many different smells and tastes, and I am all those things.
Yeah.
I'm like a Gemini. I have a lot of different things going on here. So I call myself a flower garden tea, and I bring you peace and joy and smells that smell really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I
what
love
I'd be.
that. Pour
Thank
yourself
you.
a little cup of
Flower garden tea.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. You were born in Arlington, Texas, and you got an early start performing in different groups and choirs there. At that time when you were just starting out, how did you envision being an artist to be? Like, what was the dream?
Oh my gosh, going on tour, shooting music videos, because at the time, like MTV was like more music videos than ridiculousness. And I envisioned myself, shooting all these music videos and being on tour, and the music landscape is so much different now.
Yeah.
It's so much different.
What has exceeded or failed your expectations?
What has failed my expectations is it's not as glamorous as everybody thinks that it is. Like, you look at it and you assume like everybody has so much money, and like you have a music video out and they're automatically rich, and that is not the case at all. Touring is really hard. I think I saw a video like back in the day of like Michael Jackson saying he hated being on tour. It's so hard. Like, so much goes into just getting there.
Right.
And then setting up and doing the whole thing. It's really hard, and being away from your family and not sleeping in your own bed. It's a lot. It's hard. I don't want to say failed, maybe surprised me, like it humbled me.
Humbled, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's something that's exceeded your expectations, though, like that's better than you thought it would be?
Just I would say, like getting to do a lot of film and television opportunities. There's like, people are way nicer and kind than I thought. I think that is something that has exceeded my expectations, because you always hear about people being like, people are like bitches or like divas. And of course there are those people. I've definitely come across some of those people, but for the most part, everybody's really kind from what I've seen.
Yeah. So early on in your music journey, you were almost part of girl group 3LW.
Yeah.
But you ended up dropping it because you said that your dad was a businessman and your parents asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so I'd love to talk more about that. Like, what kind of questions were they asking?
Well, I mean, it's just like contracts, like there was different contracts involved at the time, and they were asking us to use the same lawyer, and my dad was like, what the hell is going on?
And
I mean, it was so long ago. I can't remember everything, but everything happened the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
And I wished, it was really cool watching them have that success, and like knowing that I was like that close to having that with them.
Yeah. Do you remember any specific conversations you had with your parents when making that decision?
I mean, I was a little girl, so I didn't really have much of an option. It was just like, this is it. Like, that's that's it. But I'm really grateful that, my parents asked those questions. I mean, we're from the South. We're like very sheltered. Like we knew nothing about the music industry. And I think things were happening so fast. They had to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because like they went off and had a lot of success and were like the Cheetah Girls and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool to see.
Having your parents help you out in that aspect with all the business stuff, what is a business lesson that you feel like your parents passed down to you?
Asking questions, I think, is definitely a business sense that I inherited from my dad. Being the CEO of your company, like knowing exactly what you want and opening your mouth. My mom was a homemaker. Like she stayed at home and took care of the family, and my dad was the business guy, but he definitely instilled those practices in me.
I would love to talk about Nashville. Nashville is known for being a very tight-knit music community, a lot of amazing music coming out of Nashville.
Yeah.
When did you know it was the right time to make the jump to Nashville?
Well, I was living out here in LA, and I was working 2 jobs, and I got fired from one of my jobs.
Yeah.
Because I was going out and pursuing this career. So I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I've never been fired from my job. I was only fired from my job once.
Right.
And at the time, I did have a record deal offer on the table. So it wasn't like I was like that upset about being fired. It was just like, oh, okay.
It's just a redirection.
Yeah, it's a redirection. But that was when I knew. It was just like the way everything fell into place. I had went through a terrible breakup at the time. I was completely distraught over this guy. Like this guy, I don't know. It was just the worst heartbreak I've ever experienced in my life. I was so sad. And it seemed like my life here in California had come to an end. Like there was a lot of ends. But there was this opportunity. I had met some people that knew some people to pursue a country career. I loved country music, and there was never an avenue for me to do that, especially being a Black woman singing country music. And at the time, like, there was nothing. Like, I think Darius Rucker hadn't even released his record. Like, Charlie Pride was retired by that time or hadn't been releasing music. And, Linda Martell, like, that was literally it that I'd seen. To get that type of opportunity, like, there's no way. Of all the people in the world, for that to happen it happened to me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how I knew it was like, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, like everything is aligning and it's good time.
Yeah. It's like sometimes the universe does that.
Yeah. So during that time, how did you navigate signing those early deals and also finding the right team to support you?
Well, I actually had a really artist-friendly deal. And the only other artist that had an artist-friendly deal like that was Lady Antebellum, or Lady A. They're now called Lady A. And it was not a 360 deal, so I wasn't having to share everything that I had with the record label. It was a very, very one of the most artist-friendly deals in the industry at that time. And that was like the easy part. You think, oh, it's so hard to get a record deal, but like then after that, it's that much harder, like that much harder. I had great managers, Jerry Borman and Steve Moyer. And at the time, they managed Lady A. They've also managed Faith Hill, Dwight Yoakam. They were just like really big time managers. I think at the time they were also managing John Mayer. And they got me signed to Capitol Nashville. And such a great record label. At the time, Mike Dungan was CEO, and he was just such a good man, a scary man, but a good man. He did care about the artists. Like, that's something, I don't know all record labels, but I know UMG, now MCA, it's gone through so many different changes. Like, they do really care about the artists, and they really do invest in their artists, and that's like unheard in any other record label that I know of.
Very special.
Yeah.
Would love to talk a little bit about like transparency in the music industry.
Yeah.
As Sound Exchange is always fighting for and advocating for more transparency in the music industry. And transparency in the industry has evolved a lot.
Hold on.
Sandwich is fighting back a little bit.
It's fighting with me. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Transparency in the music industry has evolved a lot over time. What do you think is something that the industry could be more transparent about?
That there's no money.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate or?
There's a lot on TikTok that I've been watching. Like, I think I saw Lizzo do a whole thing on it. Like, Lizzo, she is like a flagship artist. Like, you know, I'd say I'm like a cute little, like a little store. Like, she's Nordstrom. She is the whole mall. And if the whole mall is telling you this, that what this is doing and happening to like the mall. Does this make any sense?
1,000%. Because if the mall is struggling, what's happening to the rest of the stores?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm a little store. And if the mall is struggling, like, look at what's happening to all of us. And then on top of that, as an artist, like wherever this camera is, like what happens to an artist? Let's say when it comes to women, the amount of money that goes into, like, you have to spend so much money on clothes, on looks, on hair. And all those people around you, the stylists, the makeup artists, the wig specialist that's making these wigs for you, they are all getting their money every time at these big events, right? But guess who's not getting any money?
The artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. And if they do, it's very little.
Yeah, because the money's going so many other places
Yeah.
to make it work for you.
So guess what artists are starting to have to do?
What?
They're starting to learn how to do their own makeup, learning how to do their own glam, learning to shop and find their own things because it is so expensive and you're spending tens of thousands of dollars just for 3 minutes.
And definitely something that, yeah, the industry needs to be more transparent about, 1,000%. One of the many things that shines through in your songwriting is your honesty, whether it be about love and connection or topics like racism and sexism. Was there ever moments where you felt hesitant to cover certain topics or include certain lyrics in your music?
Absolutely. In country music, especially for women, they want you to be seen and not heard. Like, they don't want to hear, their whole thing that I've heard so many men say, and I'm not a man hater, okay? Like, I love men. My husband is a man, obviously, and I have a son that's a boy. I love men. However, the common factor is we don't want to hear about a woman hating her husband. I'm like, who's writing about hating their husband? There's nobody writing about hating their husband or their man. We could be brokenhearted, whatever. And like, country music does not want to be political unless it's what they believe in, which we know very clearly what they believe in. But they don't want to hear opinions. They don't want to hear about the oppression of women. They don't want to hear the oppression of Black people. They don't want to hear a woman mad at her man, her husband, her wife, her whatever. They don't want to hear that. They want music that they can stomach.
Yeah.
They want artists that they can understand. So that's definitely something in that time when I wrote those songs, I definitely considered that. But my heart, I am a very passionate, very empathetic person, whether you think empathy is a weakness or a strength. I think it's a strength, but I'm a very empathetic person. I could see someone crying on the street, and I start crying not even knowing what's wrong with them. And so, having been in the industry for so long and seeing so many people that I love and care about being discriminated against, being hurt, being harmed, and that is not limited to color. That's like, I've seen it happen to a lot of women in the country music industry. And it was hard, and I love women. I think women, make the world go round. I think that we couldn't be here without women. And to see that, I wrote about it. Also, the oppression of Black people. I'm a Black person, and the things that I've gone through in my life, I've gone through a lot. I've experienced racism as early as like 5 years old. So, at the time, it was like therapy for me to just get it out. Like, songwriting was just therapy for me.
1,000%.
So,
yeah. And has there ever been a time when you lost out on money or an opportunity because of speaking out on what you believe in?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day. I mean, as soon as November 5th happened, I knew that things were going to change.
Yeah.
For a lot of people across genres, professions, everything.
Yeah. Becomes a lot more high stakes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in a period of resting and taking care of this and taking care of my house and the people that I love and I care for.
Yeah, definitely. Times like this, like definitely taking care of yourself and your nucleus,
Yeah,
your family.
you can't control everything that's happening, but you can control that. And resting is a form of protest.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you gotta let the others fight, and you fight for this.
Yeah,
Because the tides always change.
1000%. That's amazing. So, kind of moving forward here, if we need a snack break, we can take one. A little sip. Releasing your first project 10 years ago, what would you say to Mickey then, 10 years ago?
My girl, keep at it, stay strong. Don't let these people hurt your spirit. Drown out the noise. Don't ever stop believing in yourself.
Yeah. What do you think she would say back to you?
Fuck you. That's probably what she would say.
She was spirited. Within the last 10 years, you've reached global audiences through major TV appearances, from hosting award shows and specials to singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. How have you found those opportunities and known what's a good fit for you?
I'm a spiritual person, and I believe in fate, and I believe that there's blessings that are just for you. And I just think I was right. I was just blessed. I don't even know I can't take any credit for that. Like, it's like that lightning in a bottle term. Like, you get it or you don't. And I just received it. And the real kicker is, what are you going to do with those opportunities when you get them? And how do you pay it forward? I think that that's where we're at right now in life.
Yeah.
Especially what's going on in this world. I think it's so important to use your opportunities to make it better than you found it.
Yeah.
And to help other people.
Definitely. That's a really, again, really amazing mindset to approach those opportunities with, because especially when you're stepping up to a national or global stage, what are you going to do with that moment?
Yeah.
And I always feel so inspired seeing the artists I look up to take advantage of those moments and say what matters and do what matters.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to approach those things.
Someone that I think has been really good at that is Cardi B. She's one of the biggest, not only rappers, she's a massive pop star. She's a popular music star. And I've loved how she has, jumped on and lifted other rappers and other female rappers on her rise, like Glorilla and even get hopping on stuff with Megan Thee Stallion. I just think I love what they have done and the kind of culture that they create of uplifting women. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah. Over the course of your career, which achievement has been most personally rewarding and which achievement has been the most financially rewarding for you?
I think the achievement that's been personally the best is being a mom and doing this. Women that are pursuing careers in music, it's so important. The thing that I was told, you want every girl to want to be friends with you, and this is such a toxic thing. And I don't agree with it at all. And they say you want every man to want to fuck you. Who says that?
That's fucked up.
But that's what they tell you.
Yeah. I can't believe anyone would say that to you with a straight face.
Can you believe it? And I was like, okay. I remember when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh God, the first thing, I hate even admitting it, but it's a genuine, honest reaction. I was like, oh God, this is gonna ruin my career. I said that. Yeah. That's what I thought. And how dare I've let this industry make me think that I first of all, don't deserve love openly, and I don't deserve to have a family if that's something that I want. And for me, it was I wanted to show people that you can still have a career and still be a mom. And there's a village of people that are gonna support you through that. So that was I would say one of my biggest, proudest accomplishments. Financially rewarding, oh man. I definitely, film and television has been very financially rewarding for me. That's where where I've seen the most immediate payments that have come in that have been great, that have, helped buy me a house and all these things. That it would be.
Yeah, big shout out to film, television. When you think about long-term success in this industry, what do you see as the key to longevity?
I think the key to longevity is drowning out the noise and finding your fans and just writing real, staying real to yourself and staying true to yourself. I think one of the best artists that has done that is, I think Taylor Swift has been exceptionally great at writing in real time. But she's a lightning in the bottle person. Not only is she talented, but she's just lightning in the bottle. And I think she's done such a great job of just taking that moment and writing real music.
Yeah.
Beyonce, another one. Beyonce really, if there's a blueprint, it is her.
Yeah.
I can't even calculate in my head what she has done. But I think working really hard is the key to longevity as well. I don't think that woman ever stops working.
Yeah, never. She's literally like
Doesn't ever stop trying to get better.
And she has a family
Yeah.
as well.
And I think the other key to longevity is, you know, there's a new generation that there's coming up behind you. And it's to never look at them like they're below you. And you can always learn from anybody. And I think you have to learn from, or humble yourself and learn from the younger generation.
Yeah, that's great advice for longevity.
It is.
What's one thing that you wish people understood about you as an artist?
I wish people would understand, you know, I got a lot of success being an activist. That was not my intention. But I really am a woman and an artist that's truly for people, period. For equality, period. No matter what race, creed, color you are, that I am pro human beings, period.
Yeah.
Pro human beings being seen, period.
Absolutely. And if your legacy could be described in one word, what would that word be?
Empathetic. That would be it.
Yeah.
That's how I write music, is all through a lens of empathy.
Yeah. Yeah, and we need a lot more of it in the world, so what you're contributing with your art and your work is like vital
Thank you.
to not only music, but like humanity in the world.
Thank you.
So that's beautiful. And the last thing I want to ask you is, if you could write an inspirational message on a tea bag, what would it be?
My inspirational message that I would write on a tea bag: resting is a form of protest. It's okay to rest,
Yeah.
and you have to.
Amazing. Well, Mickey, thank you so much for joining me on
Thank
Royalties
you.
today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, love to our tea.
Cheers to our tea. Thank
to our
you.
tea. Thank you very
you
much.
so much.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We really should do this all back in a British accent.
We really should.
We really should
I love it.
I would love it so
I
much.
would love it. Would you like one number two?
One lump of tea, like sugar cream,
lump
a
of
clot
tea.
of cream in your
Oh,
tea.
a pot of tea, cream in your tea.
Cheers,
I
love.
swear I wanted to be from the UK, from England.
I would love to be like
I-
reborn with a British accent.
I would love it.
I would love it so much.
Crumpets.
Some crumpets. Shall we take our tea and go get a crumpet?
Absolutely.
Right, let's go
Maybe
then.
a bit more of those cucumber sandwiches.